Gentle, soothing music begins like a lullaby. Hello, little dreamers, and welcome to our cozy story corner. Are you all tucked in and ready for a magical adventure? Tonight, we're going to travel to a very special place called the Valley of Dreams. Let's close our eyes and imagine it together. The night was always peaceful in the Valley of Dreams. The moon, like a kind, smiling face, shimmered softly in the dark sky. All around her, the stars twinkled like tiny diamonds scattered on a blanket of deep blue velvet. Well, almost all of them. In a soft, glowing mushroom house, a little creature named Lumi stirred. Her wings, delicate as morning dew, fluttered as she opened her sleepy eyes. She loved to gaze at the night sky before she drifted off to sleep. But tonight, something was different. She looked up, her little heart giving a gentle thump. She counted the stars, once, then twice. "Oh my," Lumi gasped, her voice a tiny whisper in the quiet night. "One of the stars is missing." Now Lumi wasn't the kind of creature to simply go back to sleep when something was amiss. Her heart was as bright as her glow. Without a moment's hesitation, she hopped out of her cozy bed and flew through the open window, out into the cool night air. She zipped through the fragrant meadow, her own soft, warm glow lighting up the path like a little lantern. The sleeping flowers nodded their heads as she passed. She wasn't sure where to go, but she followed a faint, almost invisible trail of sparkle that seemed to hang in the air. It led her past the whispering willows and over the gently gurgling stream. The sparkle grew a little stronger until it led her to the base of a very old, very wise-looking oak tree. And there, sitting on a mossy root, was a tiny hedgehog. He was carefully polishing a small glass jar filled with what looked like glowing dust. He had a kind face and spectacles perched on his nose. "Hello?" Lumi said softly, so as not to startle him. "I'm Lumi. I was just looking at the sky and... Did you happen to see a star fall?" The tiny hedgehog looked up from his work and smiled a gentle, warm smile that made Lumi feel instantly at ease. "I did indeed," he said, his voice as soft as rustling leaves. "My name is Hester, and I am the Star Keeper." He held up the jar of sparkling dust. "You see, every single star you see up there is a child's wish. They shine brightly with hope and imagination. But sometimes," he sighed, looking a little sad, "a star can slip away when someone somewhere forgets to dream." Lumi's big, curious eyes widened in surprise. A forgotten dream. How sad that sounded. She looked from the empty spot in the sky to the kind Star Keeper. "But we can't just leave it lost," she declared. "I can help. We'll find the missing star, and we'll remind everyone how important it is to dream again." Hester the Star Keeper's face lit up. "Oh, would you really?" he asked. "An extra pair of eyes and a heart as bright as yours would be a wonderful help." And so, the unlikely pair set off on their quest. Together, Lumi and Hester searched high and low through the enchanting valley. They were a perfect team. Hester, with his knowledge of the earth, looked under the broad leaves of sleepy ferns and inside the curled-up petals of moon blossoms. Lumi, with her ability to fly, soared high to peek between the fluffy, silver-edged clouds and into the hollows of the tallest trees. They searched inside shimmering, empty seashells left by the riverbank, wondering if the star had mistaken one for a pearly home. They followed the silent flight of a barn owl, hoping it might have seen a glimmer of falling light. The night was deep and quiet, but their hope was a bright flame that kept them going. Finally, as they approached the gentle currents of the Dream River, whose waters were said to carry whispers of slumbering children, Lumi spotted it. There, nestled inside a beautiful, bell-shaped flower, was a tiny golden star. It was flickering softly, its light a little weak and faint, like it was lonely and scared. Lumi flew down and hovered beside the flower. The star hummed a soft, trembling tune, like a lullaby that had lost its way. It was so small, so delicate. Lumi reached out her hands and picked it up with the utmost care. It felt warm in her palms. "Don't be scared, little one," Lumi whispered, her voice full of kindness. "You're not forgotten. It's time to go home." Hester smiled, his whiskers twitching with relief. "You have a gentle touch, Lumi. It knows you are a friend." Together they carried the precious star back to the clearing under the old oak tree. Hester took out his special jar of stardust and sprinkled a tiny pinch over the star. Then, with a gentle toss, Lumi lifted it into the air. The little star soared upwards, higher and higher, a streak of gold against the dark canvas of the night. It found its empty spot in the sky and settled in, shining brightly. At once, the whole night seemed to exhale in relief. The sky glowed brighter than before, and a soft, beautiful music, like the chiming of 1,000 tiny bells, filled the air. It was the music of the stars, singing their thanks. Hester the Starkeeper turned to Lumi, his eyes twinkling behind his glasses. "Thank you, little one," he said gratefully. "You have done more than just find a star. You've brought back a dream to the world." Lumi looked up at the now complete twinkling sky. She felt a warmth spread through her chest. "Good night, wishes," she whispered to all the stars. "Shine bright for everyone." And as she flew back to her cozy mushroom house, curled up in her bed, and closed her sleepy eyes, the stars twinkled softly above. They were all there, keeping watch over all the dreamers in the world, just waiting for them to wake up and share their light. Thank you for joining me on this magical journey tonight. I hope you have the sweetest of dreams, filled with your very own stars. If you enjoyed our story, please subscribe and join us for our next adventure. Good night, sleep tight.